even though there is still a way to go, as things stands, Arsenal are on course for a top 4 finish. With the potential return of the elusive Champions League football brings plenty of exciting opportunities. So let's find out today what Mikel Arteta has revealed about summer 2022. Are Arsenal set to open talks over a new contract for William Saliba? And what have Adidas cooked up for the Arsenal home kit for next season? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14. It's the start of a brand new week. Unfortunately, it's international break, so I'm not looking forward to it, but the Arsenal content is still here. So smash a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new, help a boy on his road to 80k, and let's get into that Arsenal news. And starting off, let's discuss Arsenal's summer transfer plans. When you have the boredom of the international break, our way of coping through it is going to be transfers, and we're going to start off with quotes from the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, where he reveals the plans of what he's looking for from summer 2022, saying that there are certain things that we have to achieve in this summer that are not always especially age related, but things we want to add to the squad. When we find that player, maybe the top priority won't be at the age in that position, maybe in another one, yes. So what Mikel Arteta is saying there is, going into the summer transfer window, Arsenal's priority isn't going to be signing young players like it was the last transfer window. Whereas in this transfer window, Arsenal are going to look for players potentially more towards the peak of their powers. That's why when you have the links to Serge Gnabry and players like that, I don't think it's a surprise. The key, of course, here is going to be Champions League footy. With young up-and-coming players, they can sign for the project. But if you want the world-class superstars, the instant level raisers, you need to be in the world's best competition, and that, of course, is the UEFA Champions League. And this is also very important in the next step of Arsenal's project. Arsenal have a long-term project, and that project isn't just to get into the Champions League. It's once we get into that, we have to mean business. And also to close the gap to the teams right at the top of the Premier League, we're looking at you Man City and you Liverpool. The long-term target for Mikel Arteta and this current Arsenal board is to bring back titles to the Emirates Stadium. So for yourself to do that, you need to have some top caliber players. And even though we have potential superstars, if you can add on top of that current superstars that are already made, then my friends, we're looking like a very serious team. Arteta also says to be with the top teams in the season, you need to score 90 to 100 goals at least. Somehow you need those goals in the team. Don't ask me how, but you need them. They have to come. And looking at Arsenal's current team, defensively, we are there. We are competing with Man City and Liverpool in terms of clean sheets, goals conceded. But what Arsenal don't have on a consistent basis is that final third cutting edge. And Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have made it no secret. Arsenal's priority this next window is going to be a brand new centre forward. A player that comes into Arsenal, adds the goal threats, take this Arsenal attack to the next level, and help bridge the gap to Man City and Liverpool. And even Fabrizio Romano has confirmed yesterday that Arsenal have different targets for the new number 9, and confirms that they have already started to work on it. So Arsenal are actively in the transfer market, opening negotiations for the striker targets, but who are these players going to be? Because if you look on the current market, there aren't really any standout options. Yes, there's players with great potential, yes, there's players that might be great, but for me there isn't really an obvious candidate of who Arsenal can go out there, spend the money on and get that money back in terms of value. But on the reported targets, according to AS in Spain, they are reporting that Arsenal are in love with Real Sociedad striker Alexander Isak, and that Arsenal are literally fighting to sign him in this summer. A lot of Arsenal fans are convinced that this guy is going to be that guy. He is still 22 years of age, shows a lot of good signs of potential, and technically has so much to offer. But as Mikel Arteta has already said, he wants a goal scorer, and to the fans that want Alexander Isak, and I have been one of those, since he didn't get that move to Arsenal on deadline day, Isak is still yet to score a single goal for Real Sociedad. That was back in January, and we are now nearly in April. So if Alexander Isak is going to be that goal scorer, yes, he has the potential, but as things stand, things aren't looking promising. In fact, he only has, I believe, 4 league goals for Sociedad this season. The reason why Arsenal did not sign this guy in the last transfer window was because Sociedad wanted up to £70 million paid up front in a release clause. Yes, he has the potential, and I have no doubts that he will be a very good player, but for £70 million in the current transfer market, an upfront fee, logically speaking, there's no way that Arsenal should be paying that. If you're going to spend £70 million, you can go out there and sign potentially a Victor Osimhen. In the past, Arsenal wanted to sign the likes of Tammy Abraham and Dusan Vlahovic, and again, these are players that were cheaper than that price tag. And stylistically as well, Isak doesn't have the out-and-out goal-scoring pedigree so far to show that he's a goal scorer, and even in terms of the false 9 play, he has ability there, but he isn't really an out-and-out false 9 either. One false 9 prospect I'm going to throw out there, just a personal suggestion. If Arsenal could sign this player, I would love it, and that is RB Leipzig's Christopher Nkunku. Also able to play as an out-and-out number 10, he has started a lot of games for Leipzig this year as that false nine, and he's excelled. So far this year, Nkunku has scored 23 goals in all competitions and also has 10 assists as well. And he's still only 24 years old. So if Arsenal are indeed going to spend a £70 million price tag, this guy has the numbers, the goals, the assists, the ability to play as a false nine, to be a very fluid striker. He's entering the peak of his powers, but also that versatility to play in quite a few different roles. But as always, let's have a discussion down below in those comments. So talk to me about Alexander Isak, but also talk to me about Christopher Nkunku of RB Leipzig, the French international. Do you agree with your boy in saying that that should be a player that Arsenal should be looking to target? Moving on, let's talk the Mbappe centre-backs, as William Saliba, of course on loan at Marseille from Arsenal, has received his first ever call-up to the French national team, replacing Benjamin Pavard. The Mbappe of centre-backs is starting to fulfill his prophecy. 20 years of age, getting called up to this French national team with the centre-backs that these guys have is no mean feat. Looking at the stats in Liga, he ranks first for touches, first for attempted and successful passes, and is also the top player for total carrying progress. This is the definition of a young ball-playing centre-back, but is also no mean player when it comes to the defensive phase. He went toe-to-toe with Kylian Mbappe, kept him out, kept it clean sheets. Yes, he's made a couple of small mistakes here and there, but you expect that from a player of his age. Apart from that, he's been so consistent. He's won so many Marseille Player of the Month awards. That's why Marseille fans are so in love with this player, and they are hoping, they are begging they keep him. But for Arsenal, the plan remains the same. That is, come the end of the season, to bring the player back to the Emirates Stadium. And on his Arsenal future, Charles Watt says, talks to open over Saliba's future in the coming weeks. Saliba's camp understandably keen to find out Arsenal's long-term plans for him ahead of the summer. With today's France call-up yet another clear sign of his continued development. I will say it with my chest, Saliba is that guy, and I think he has so much potential and has everything in his locker in terms of ability-wise, mentality-wise, of being an elite centre-back for years and years to come. Hopefully, fingers crossed at Arsenal Football Club. And yes, we have Gabriel Magalhaes, yes, we have Benjamin White, but if you want to be the top teams like Man City and Liverpool, these teams have 3 or 4 top centre-backs. So why can't Arsenal have Ben White, Gabriel and Saliba in the same squad? It gives Arsenal extra competitive edge, gives us extra rotational options, and if we are to get into the Champions League, it allows Arsenal to compete on all possible fronts. What do you guys make of William Saliba? And come the start of next season, do you think Mikel Arteta is able to integrate William Saliba, Ben White and Gabriel Magalhaes in the same squad? And which 2 of those do you think should be starting? Moving on to the Arsenal players on their international break. The international break is well and truly upon us, and listen, it's only one day, but I'm already starting to be very bored. I want to see Vibes FC in action, but then again, with the great form that Arsenal have been in, a lot of the Arsenal players have been called up to their national teams, and that there is beautiful scenes. But one player that won't be there is Gabriel Magalhaes, who won't be in the Brazil squad due to the birth of his daughter. But Arsenal will still have yet another Gabriel in that squad, and that being Mr. Gabriel Martinelli, who can be seen today reporting for duties for the Brazil national team. A shout out to the Gabriels, but they aren't the only Arsenal players that have received international call-ups as well, as you've got Aaron Ramsdale, Ben White, Emil Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Kieran Tierney, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Magalhaes, Granit Xhaka, Samuel Lokonga, Nicola Pepe, Cedric Suarez, Martin Odegaard, Thomas Partey, Mo Elneny and William Saliba all getting their call-ups. Even though some players won't be available, at the same time it shows Arsenal's progress. Going back to the Euros, Arsenal only had 4 players there: Kieran Tierney, Xhaka, Leno and Bukayo Saka. Whereas now it's a completely different story. We are slowly taking over the international scene, and it just goes to show that Arsenal players are starting to get their recognition. They'll come back to Arsenal as more confident players, happy players, and that confidence and happiness will only transmit onto the pitch and make us Arsenal fans happy. But unfortunately, on the other side, during the international break, when you have so many players going, you run the risk of unfortunate injuries. And talking about injuries, Aaron Ramsdale has pulled out of the England squad, with Mikel Arteta confirming that he picked up an injury in the game against Liverpool. Rambo missed the last Arsenal game, and now you understand why, but now he has 2 weeks to recover, to recuperate, and my fingers are crossed that once Arsenal play Crystal Palace on the Monday Night Football, we will have Aaron Ramsdale on goal. But what do you guys make of so many Arsenal players being called up to their national teams? Are you happy for them, or are you low-key worried like your boy that injuries could occur? Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with let's talk next season. Yes, we talk transfers and all that type of stuff, but what about the garments for next year? The Arsenal home kit for next year, what is it going to look like? Well, here are some leaked images of the potential new Arsenal home kit for next season. with the standout feature of course being that brand new collar. And a shout out to AFC X-Man who has photoshopped a photo of the kit on Benjamin White. Personally speaking, I don't know, there's things I like about the kit and I kind of like the collar, but something doesn't feel right. It kind of just looks like the Arsenal home kit from 1920 with just a different collar on it. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 right now, but most Arsenal home kits do grow on me, so maybe that's the case for this kit as well. But what's more important to me is the players that play within it. So if we have some top players and a Champions League badge on the side of it, then I'll happily give it a 10 out of 10. But what do you guys make of the new leaked potential Arsenal home kits? Do you like it? Do you not? And let me know in the comments, what would you rate it out of 10? Mikel Arteta speaking on Thomas Partey. We had Thomas when we talk about consistency and level. I think 3 games in 6 days. That hasn't happened for a while since he's been here. I think he played at his level, at his best level for 3 consecutive games, and that is a big boost. Bang on the buck there. Thomas Partey has been on fire for Arsenal in the last 3 games. And in that last game against Aston Villa, he dropped a man of the match performance. I mean, just look at the foes. Poor old Douglas Luiz, who was left chasing shadows all game. But as Mikel Arteta says, the key there is now going to be being consistent. If Thomas Partey wants to be in the category of Rodri, of Fabinho, of Casemiro, if he wants to give Arsenal a base to build off and give Arsenal fans the confidence and the assurity that this guy is that guy, because he's now showing Arsenal fans what he's about. He's showing Arsenal fans he can play as a number 6. If he can just keep on sustaining these type of performances, he is well on his way to becoming an Arsenal fan favourite because he has all the qualities to be a world-class midfielder. But do you guys now see Thomas Partey slowly justifying his €50 million price tag? Moving on to the race for the Champions League. First things first, on Sunday, unfortunately, you had a win for Nando's FC as Tottenham beat their rivals West Ham 3-1. And here is how it has left the table as Arsenal still sit 4th, but Tottenham have now moved up to 5th place, 3 points behind Arsenal, and have played an extra game. 3 points and a game in hand sounds nice, but the game in hand itself is Chelsea at Stamford Bridge away. So that's why for Arsenal it's very important that the next 3 games, Crystal Palace away, Brighton at home, Southampton away, they will be tricky little games, but they're games that if Arsenal want to be of a Champions League standard, they're games they simply have to be winning. And that is exactly what Arsenal have been doing so far, especially in 2022, with our only 2 defeats in the Premier League coming up against Liverpool and Man City at the Emirates Stadium. Both were games that Arsenal were very competitive, and if they had taken their chances and if a referee had done their job, they could have both gone either way. And this can be shown with the XG for and against that Arsenal have had in the last 10 games. Defensively, Arsenal are elite, up there with Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool. But going forward, there can be improvements, with both Man United and Tottenham having a higher XG4. Yes, as it stands, Arsenal are in the top 4 race with Man United and Tottenham, but my long-term goal isn't them. My long-term goal is Man City and Liverpool. And so I'm looking at how can Arsenal close the gap to them, and in the games against them, we have shown that we can compete at the level. We can go toe-to-toe tactically and pressing-wise, but we just need to add a decisive touch going forward. But as Mikel Arteta says, we are there with 10 games to go. We have this feeling that we really want it, and I think you can sense it. So we are going to give it a go until the end. Yes, Tottenham have their easier games. Yes, Arsenal do have some tricky fixtures. But if Arsenal can just keep doing what they've been doing, keeping the likes of Xhaka and Partey fit is going to be very important, because if those 2 are fit in the centre of midfield, I have confidence that Arsenal have the ability to be any team in the Premier League. So talk to me down below in the comments about the race for the Champions League, and how confident are you, and what belief do you have in this current Arsenal team and this Arsenal manager to secure and bring back that Champions League footy. But that is the video there, so if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like on it, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on them social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was all of the latest Arsenal news today, so I hope you guys have enjoyed and been informed as always. I know the international break is going to be boring, but if you want to see that content, come back to Mr. Bows 14. Anyways, I'll see you next time, take care of yourselves, and in a bit.